Hi guys, it's Chris, back in my cider shed with another cider to try, but it isn't a cider, it's a Perry. And we're continuing our Templars Choice selection of booze, and we're going to do a Perry from them today. Come back to the shed, irrespective of the weather. It is bloody freezing in here. It's really cold in here today. You can't see my breath, but I can see my breath. It's really cold and it's damp as well. My table is going mouldy. So I have to sort that out when it gets warmer. The weather, that is, not the table. Yeah, but this is how I like to spend my time. In my shed, freezing my nuts off and drinking cider. It's niche, but that's my bag. Okay, so what we got? We got this, guys. There you go. Templars cider. And by the way, I got a message the other day, several messages through Instagram, and it was from Adam Bland, who makes this. He was basically telling me off because I'd said that he dosed his ciders, which he doesn't do. I don't know why I even said that, because I think of the other keef ciders that I do, for example, James Marsden, Greg Spitt, this guy, he doesn't dose, and Nigel Stewart, he doesn't dose. So I don't know. I said that he dosed. I think it's basically pet nat. So you track the gravity, and when it gets to a certain level, then you bottle it. And it finishes as a fermentation in a bottle, and that's how you get your sparkle. And that's what Adam Bland does. I apologise, Adam. He also told me another thing, which was very interesting. That so the cider I drank maybe 4 ciders ago from him with the red label of 500ml. I said I thought it tasted like a West Country cider. It had sort of more acidity, more tannin, and it was 7%. Apparently, it is keeved and still gets to 7%, so it ferments to dry. And it's what the Normans would have drunk. It's what the Normans would have drunk and kept for themselves. The Parisians were all about this stuff, the fancy stuff. But that stuff was like a table cider that they would drink on their farms. And I'd never had anything like that before, never heard anything like that before. It almost reminded me a bit of like the West Country sort of scrumpies that we were drinking on the farms. They're the more fancy bottle conditioned stuff like this, which is what people in London would have drank. You know, so actually the similarities, massive similarities in fact. So, he also said he's only 2 miles from the town of Camembert and lives in the canton of Livarol. He was very pleased that I was into cheese. That was cool, wasn't it? That was cool. Right, let's open this fella up. So it says on this bottle, this is a Perry, that it's keeved. Now, I was under the impression that you couldn't keeve Perry, that Perry wouldn't naturally keeve, because, well, James Marsden said he thought it was to do with acidity, and he's a man who knows what he's talking about. Then I think Jeremy Harris at Kumatic said it was something to do with, I can't remember exactly, I think it's in the midst of time we were chatting in his cider sort of making room. I think he said it was something to do with lacking certain enzymes. But anyway, both of them said, yeah, keeving Perry isn't something that really gets done or happens. This is keeved. So, why is that? Why is that the case? How can this be keeved when they say it can't be keeved? I mean, I believe that it is keeved, but I'm getting contrasting messages. But from an English cider makers and sort of French cider maker. Well, English man making cider in France, but he's a French cider maker. Whatever you want to be, Adam, I don't mind. Way! And that just decorked itself without me having to touch it. That's pretty cool, wasn't it? You didn't get to see it that time. It blew up, but it didn't blow up on me this time. So that's kind of cool. It is. I did let it get a bit warmer though, because I'm sick of trying these things cold. It lacks so much flavour, aromatics and so forth when it's cold. So yeah, there you go. Quite exciting. I don't think I got hit with any Perry either. Oh, maybe. Yeah, there's a bit of a puddle on the floor. Oh well. So there you go. Didn't even need to pull out the cork. It did all the work for me. So let's have a look at this. There it is. Very pale. Lovely pale. I was thinking like a dark lemon water. Very pale gold. Very pale gold. Not too hazy either, but it will be unfiltered. But this looks like a Perry. This is very familiar sort of what we'd expect to see from a Perry. That very light pale colour. Nice bubbles. Obviously carbonated. And not dosed. Pet nat. Okay. So let's give it a sniff. And on the nose we get a lovely pear. Oh, it's quite rich as well, actually. Quite round. Almost get a milky dairy element, a pastry element as well, very subtle. And a nice round, rich pear character, almost like a buttered pear character on the nose. Very pleasant indeed. What is the ABV on this? 5.5. Nice ABV. I've been enjoying the ABVs on Adam's ciders, I must say. The strongest one, the one I thought was English, that was 7. Most of the other ones I try are 6 or 7, so it's quite nice to have a series of ciders / Perrys, which aren't as strong, you know. Doesn't have to be strong to be good. Yeah, nice. A hint of sort of citrus in there as well. Slight hint of sort of lemon peel or something. Anyway, let's try it. super bubbly, super mousse. As soon as I stuck that into my mouth filled with bubbles. It was lovely. And this does has quite a bold acidity. It actually does. Merest hint of sweetness. I'm not sure if I'm tasting sorbitol or sugar or a combination thereof. Sorbitol is non-fermentable sugar alcohol, which tends to give perry its sweetness. You rarely get bone dry perries just for that reason. Although this is the exception to that rule. The thorn, certainly the thorn from Greg's Pit, really dry. Hint of astringency, not loads, but a little bit. Almost got that mineral character I talk about all the time, you know, licking a wet stone that you've plucked from a mountain stream, as we've all done. Quite bold, lemon, lemony acidity. I did see on the nose, I detected a hint of citrus, and on the palate, it's quite forthright. It's making my mouth water quite a lot. So it's almost like pear drops, you know. So it's got the acidity of pear drops. On the nose, it smells richer, rounder, more buttery. But on the palate, there's quite a bold acidity, which I like actually. It kind of reminds me a bit of the Aurora 2018, pardon me, from Watford Organic. I had a bottle of it knocking about. Oh, I sold it. Oh, which is what I meant to do, not drink them. I meant to sell them. There you go. Easy mistake to make. Yeah. Quite light, refreshing, quite bold acidity. Much more austere on the palate than it is on the nose. I mean, it really does have a lemony character to it. Absolutely. This would go with, like, I'm thinking like fish dishes, mussels, that kind of thing. Actually, I mean, I think people drink a lot of cider with things like crepes in France. I think like it's the Breton thing to do, I think. This was something sweet like that would actually work rather well, I think. Work rather well. Because it is actually pretty dry. It's pretty dry. I don't think it's bone dry. I'm being fooled into think it's bone dry because of that quite assertive acidity. But yeah, this is taking me completely by surprise. Totally different to all the other things that I've had. But I'm not a big drinker of, actually, Normandy Perry's. I can't remember the last one I've had. It's not something I've had a lot. So this may be representative of the style, but I'm just forgetting, which is absolutely entirely possible. Nice. Pleasing. Yeah. I think I'd like a hair more sweetness from my palate, just a hint. But I think the majority of people think that was absolutely perfect as it is. That's just I like a little bit of sugar, that's all. Okay, so we're into lockdown again. Tier 27 now, or something like that. I can't remember. So yeah, but luckily the market's still on, which is a good job because I've got very little work on now because of that. So I'm going to be skint. I'm basically unemployed for the most part, but something will turn up. Something always does. There's not a lot to do down Borough Market, so I'm not doing much down there, you know, etc., etc. So anyway, you know, we'll figure it out. There are people in a lot worse situations than I'm in. I mean, I'm in lockdown, but I've got a shed in the garden with a load of booze in it. How bad can it be? Not too bad at all. All right, guys. As always, thank you for joining me. I hope to see you again. But until then, cheers.